They said that Will Rogers had a cool mind and a warm heart. He began as a cowboy, then a circus performer, vaudeville, with a pony and his rope, telling jokes, humorist, social commentator, syndicated newspaper columnist, and movie star. The fellow who was born on an Indian reservation in Oklahoma was one of the most famous persons in the world when he died in a plane crash in 1935. While on the vaudeville circuit, he'd come out with a rope and do tricks with it and say, "What shall I talk about? I ain't got anything to say. All I know is what I read in the papers." And he'd start making jokes about that, like this. "Alexander Hamilton started the U.S. Treasury with nothing, and that is the closest our country has ever been to being even. A fool and his money are soon elected. I am not a member of any organized political party. I am a Democrat. Everything is changing. People are taking their comedians seriously and their politicians as a joke. There ought to be one day, just one, when there is open season on senators. Last year we said, things can't go on like this. And they didn't. They got worse. People are getting smarter nowadays. They're letting their lawyers instead of their conscience be their guide. Politics is applesauce. All I can say about the United States Senate is that it opens with a prayer and closes with an investigation. If you ever injected truth into politics, you'd have no politics. Things in our country run in spite of the government, not by aid of it. Things aren't what they used to be, and they never were. Rogers got along with just about everyone. Politicians considered his remarks good-natured, and people thought he was speaking the truth. His approach to humor, poking genial fun at the powerful, was taken up by Bob Hope, and later, in his nightly monologues, Johnny Carson. George Carlin began his career as a conventional comedian, reacting to the spirit of the times, as well as a spirited drug intake. He changed his image, his clothes, and his look, as well as his outlook. And he created the hippy-dippy weatherman and, in Class Clown, the 7 dirty words you can't say on TV. When the cops busted Lenny Bruce for obscenity, they took in George Carlin, too. Carlin had a bleak view on life, all of it, politics, religion, capitalism. It was all a sham, and he pushed his cynicism as far as he could, creating comedy out of despair. He was sickened by what he called humanity's bullshit, no longer Rogers' more palatable applesauce. He appeared in black, looking like a dark elf. He measured the weight of human endeavor and found it not merely negligible, but non-existent, as if we had not only destroyed nature, but gravity too. In place of progress and hope, he posited madness and greed. When you're born, he said, you get a ticket to the freak show. When you're born in America, you get a front row seat. People responded to his aggressive misanthropy with lusty cheers and applause. For them, he was not just a comedian cracking jokes, but a hero and something akin to a prophet. Lewis Black calls himself a miserable aging Jewish prick. He skewers all of the targets in the most profane and vulgar way. He uses fuck the way Will Rogers used thee or an. People love it when he elevates his displeasure into outrage, often trailing off into a sputtering, stammering, apoplectic series of fucks, looking as if he is a man who has stepped in shit and cannot shake it off. He does not offend his audience. They clearly love him, and there is a kind of sweetness that flows from him, despite all the harshness of his attacks. He reminds me of Howard Beale, the prophet of the airwaves. I think he is Howard Beale. I don't think Howard Beale died. He pretended to die so they wouldn't kill him. He was clever enough to do that, and he changed his name, and now he's back as Lewis Black. There is a sense, when you look at what is done in politics, religion, industry, insurance, advertising, the list goes on, but when you add it up, what is badly needed is a counterbalance to all of it. Someone like Rogers or Carlin or Black. They put crazy in its place. They were all medicine men, shaman,